Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 12 Days of Christmas. This is episode 6. I've got to use two hands now. We're getting into it. So, this episode, the past few episodes, I have been reading straight from my Bible, the ESV Bible, and talking about the Gospel of Luke. The first episode we talked about a little bit Gospel of Matthew. Second episode, Gospel of Luke. The third episode we talked about some notes I had from class about the virgin birth. The fourth and fifth episodes were both from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2 and chapter 4. So if you haven't watched those, please go check them out. Today's episode, like I mentioned in the last one, is going to be about Jesus' miracles and how we should respond to his miracles and everything, like why I'm sorry, I was looking at my notes. The reasons people say the miracles are not real and how we can respond to those objections. So Jesus had 4 types of miracles. The first one we'll say, these are in no particular order: resurrection, exorcisms, healings, and nature miracles. So we're just going to talk about the miracles as a whole today. Here, I'll give you some examples. Nature miracle, whenever he turned all the water into wine at the wedding. A exorcism, whenever he exorcised that man and sent all of the demons into the pigs, and the pigs ran into the sea and they all died. That's something that a lot of people have some issues with that I'll probably talk about in the future. A healing, the blind man, whenever he made him see again, and a resurrection himself, or there was a point where he had killed a little boy in his childhood and he was able to rise him again, and everybody saw that he meant no harm whenever he did that. The boy he didn't kill him, he fell off the jungle gym or something like that, and they all blamed it on Jesus, but then Jesus rose him again. I don't know if that's actually mentioned in any of the Gospels. I think that might be, it might be. That's something I learned in class, so I can't really pinpoint exactly where that is in the Bible. I'm sorry, but if you do have a question about that, I can let you know. So there's 5 primary objections to the miracles, and I'm just gonna go over how we would respond to each one. So the first one is that they are not scientifically possible. And the way we respond to this is that in a closed universe, miracles are not impossible, but we don't live in a closed universe. The laws of science are descriptive, they're not prescriptive, so they're saying things that have happened in the past. They can't say things that could possibly happen. This is a philosophical assumption, not a scientific fact. There is no scientific proof that these things cannot happen. Sorry, I lost my place. Science tells us probability and how things normally operate. It doesn't tell us that like I mentioned in the virgin birth, I talked about how if there was billions of births in the world and one of them was virgin, the probability is going to be like 0.00000 whatever. So we're just going to be like, okay, yeah, that's too low to be significant. The second one, David Hume's philosophical idea is that miracles are incredible, and says a wise man should base his beliefs on the greater evidence. So we should not base our beliefs on the miracles, because he says that they are incredible, and we should base our belief on something that is a little bit more basic, I guess, something that is very humane. So this greater evidence really just means that it is repeated more frequently. So he just thinks we should look at things that happen over and over and over again. Like I have mentioned multiple times, Old Testament law being repeated throughout the New Testament. He does not weigh the evidence, he just counts it. He equates evidence with probability. So like I mentioned before, the probability that this will happen, not the facts that this did happen once, but it won't happen again. Or this did happen once, but it hasn't happened since forever ago in AD, so why would we say this could happen now? The third reason, literary objection, other religious leaders also did miracles. So there is an objection that this is actually, Jesus was the only one who could perform miracles. There's something, these people were saying, hey, there are other things that say there are miracles, other pagan stories. So a pagan is somebody who doesn't follow the main world religion, so just somebody who follows another religion, wasn't a follower of Christ, and they would say like, okay, well, this guy had a miracle. Like, for instance, there is one story where a man said, he drew a circle around himself. It hadn't rained for like days. He drew a circle around himself. He said, I am not leaving this circle until it rains. Obviously, it's going to rain eventually. So it rained, and everybody thought he performed a miracle. It's just like the occasion, like that was just like lucky. Like these were just like nature. Obviously, that's going to happen. They all differ in the case of Jesus. Like all of his different miracles were different. They weren't all nature miracles like this one. He did other things. They were all just like different. They were all in different places. They were all in different, with different people watching. They were all in different weather. Like none of these had same thing every single day that he performed a miracle. And Jesus didn't even want people to see his miracles. He would perform a miracle and he would say, don't tell anybody about this. He would just let it go. He didn't want anybody to know. Like in Paul's confession, whenever Paul says, well, people call you the Messiah. People think that you are the Son of God. And he says, don't tell anybody that. Don't talk about this outside of this conversation. He doesn't want anyone to know that. He wants he wants people to follow him because of him. He doesn't want them to see his miracles. He doesn't want to see the power that God has given him. He just wants himself to gain them over their faith. There's a cultural objection. Naive culture believed in miracles. They didn't know any better. So this is just saying, well, yeah, they didn't have all the science that we have now. They didn't have all the schooling that we have now. They didn't have all the books that we have now. They were just naive. They didn't know any better. They just believed it because they thought, hey, everybody else is saying this is true. It's probably true. They didn't have any way to test it. They didn't have any way to prove it. So they just say, this is real. And the Jews were special in Jesus's miracles. So this is how we respond. The Jews are special in Jesus's miracles, and they were always asking for more information. They were always asking and asking and asking. So that shows that they weren't naive. And they understood that these weren't common occurrences. People understood. They came miles to see Jesus. They understood that he was special. This wasn't a common occurrence. So they weren't naive. Like that just proves them asking for more information and more proof shows that they weren't naive, and them all coming and just like praising Jesus and knowing that he was different. That shows that they're not naive. So, and the fifth reason is a rationalization. These were faulty senses of perception, and they were just natural occurrences. So things just happened naturally. Like the man drew the circle around himself and the rain came. That was natural. But you can't say that Jesus being resurrected was natural, or Jesus resurrecting Lazarus and all the people that he resurrected. You can't say that is just like how can you say that is just a natural occurrence, or him talking to the demons in that time, and they all went into the pigs and they all ran into the ocean, and that big ordeal. You can't say that that's a natural occurrence. A lot of these things, like, people will just be like, oh, that just happened, that just was luck, it was just like the luck of the time, it was just a full moon, and like witchcraft, all that stuff. So but how can you say this? He did these so many times over a course of over a time period. You can't just keep. Jesus was in his 30s when he passed away, so he had performed miracles for 30 years. You can't just be like, oh, that was, that was just luck. All those times were just luck. The stars don't line up that many times. It's not, you're not going to have that much luck in a lifetime. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any different beliefs than I did, if you think anything is different, please let me know. Please let me know what you think. These are stuff I learned in a lecture, so they could just be my professor's views. So if you believe something different, please let me know. Comment it down below, or like I said earlier, my Instagram and my Facebook. I would love to hear. I hope you guys are all having a good holiday. I hope that you have I hope that you had a good weekend. Today is Sunday, so I hope that you are all able to get out and go to church this morning. And if you weren't, I hope that this video can serve as a kind of inspiration for you to go pick up your Bible and read a little bit, or watch a sermon online, because obviously I'm not a preacher and I'm not trying to be a preacher. I just want to teach some of the things that I have learned. So I hope that you guys have a good day. God bless you all.